Hey there folks, welcome back to my channel. So today's topic is, where are the tourists? Why hasn't Vietnam hit its tourism target for 2022 whilst most of its neighbours have? So Vietnam has kind of really fallen behind its neighbours. So it's late 2022 now, and most of the, I think all of the neighbours, so Thailand, Malaysia, even Cambodia have met or exceeded their tourism target numbers for the end of 2022. Vietnam is actually slightly under its target. I'll leave a graph on the screen here, guys, so you can have a quick look. So I don't want to go into this too much because I did a video a while back about why I think tourists don't come to Vietnam, but I just wanted to give you an update as I've changed cities to Da Nang from Saigon, and just tell you what's, show you what's going on, show you how quiet it is at the moment. So does Vietnam really care about tourists? Do they want tourists as much as Thailand? Do they rely on tourism as much as countries like Thailand? Well, not really. I think that it's a huge part of the GDP over in Thailand, Malaysia as well, but Vietnam is it's not quite at that stage yet. They're more interested in foreign investment in technology, in manufacturing, things like that. And what we're seeing at the moment is companies from China coming into Vietnam. So they're moving their operations from China into Vietnam. And why is Vietnam so attractive to other countries for manufacturing? Well, in my opinion, having lived here 8 years, it just comes down to cheap labor costs. A worker's salary here, maybe 3 to 6 million Vietnamese dong a month. They'll work 50-hour weeks, Monday through to Saturday, maybe even get 1 or 2 days off for the entire month. And capitalism at play, absolutely. So made in Vietnam will be a sticker that you may be seeing on your stuff a lot more in the future. So following the relaxation of the entry and exit rules after the pandemic, Vietnam was actually one of the first, if not the first country in the region to open its doors to outsiders and let people back in. But there was a huge change when they did this. So around 2.5 years ago, you were able to come to Vietnam on 3-month, 6 months and 12-month tourist visas. These were pretty much perpetually renewable, so you could go to an agent and they would organize a border run, or you could just do it yourself, jump over to Bangkok or take the bus up to Cambodia, Moc Bai in a day, turn around, come back and get yourself another 3, 6 or 12 months stamp in your passport, and then of course stay in Vietnam. But when the country opened up, even though it was the first country in the region to open, they cancelled the longer visas. So they just gave 15-day visa waivers and 30-day e-visas. So there was no kind of announcement about this, and they just went ahead and did it. It's quite kind of under the radar change, but a huge change to many people who had called Vietnam their home for a long time, and a huge disappointment to many people who had been living here for many years and obviously contributing to the Vietnamese economy. It's a very controversial issue because on the one side of the fence we have people saying, these people are here not paying tax, they're working cash in hand, working, getting money under the table, things like that. But on the other side of the fence we have people who want to retire, the winter snowbirds as they call them, Canadians, Northern Europeans who come here for 2-3 months on relatively good pensions or savings and spend quite a bit of money here in nice apartments and restaurants and contribute to Vietnam in that way. So it's a really controversial issue, and it's one that's still being thrashed out, I understand, in the government. Whether these longer visas will return at the moment really is anybody's guess. So another reason that people aren't really returning much at the moment, and why you don't see so many tourists, is recession and cost of living crisis in Europe and the US. It's super expensive now in the UK and Europe. You're paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month just to heat your home for your gas and electric and your water, and it's absolutely ridiculous from the outside looking in. I'm from the UK. Salaries haven't really increased much at all in the last 10 years or so. The job I used to do there, I checked it out, and it was like the same salary as it was when when I left many years ago. So inflation is like around 10% going through the roof, and people just do not have the disposable income that they used to have. You know, $1,200, $1,500 return flight to Asia for yourself is a lot of money, but for your family, plus hotels who are now trying to claw back COVID losses by increasing their prices, it's not going to be cheap to come here. So I think that's one of the predominant reasons that we don't see too many tourists at the moment. There's a lot of construction going on everywhere and a lot of unfinished construction projects, and it just looks kind of ugly. And of course, you know, this is because of world events and things are starting up slowly, but things do happen very slowly in Vietnam, especially compared to other countries. So the nature of the government here as well is it's kind of very secretive. You don't know really what, it's not clear, at least to me as a foreigner, what policies are coming out, what the current situation is in regards to many things here. So it's quite interesting. But one thing that Vietnam is renowned for and very good for is stability. So it's a very stable country, low levels of violence, there's no political unrest here, there's no terrorism whatsoever. And I think that's, you know, it's quite nice. You do feel very safe here. So tourists do talk about safety, and that's one thing I would say about Vietnam. It's a very safe country indeed to travel. And the only issues you're going to get are a couple of scams, you know, the typical tourist scams that you get around tourist areas and taxis, things like that. But in regards to violent crimes and real harm to health, no, nothing like that at all, in my opinion. So I'm really hoping, folks, that things will pick up here like they have in Thailand and neighbouring regions. I hope that people will choose to come back and visit Vietnam, whether it's just for 1 or 2 weeks or whether it's for longer term. I think it's a great country and it's definitely worth a visit. Thanks for watching, folks. Think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. All things Vietnam related from someone who's lived here as a foreigner for many years. If you have any questions about Vietnam, anything at all, drop me an email, write it in the comments below, and I will do my best to give you the right answer, and I will research for you as well and let you know what you need to know. Thanks, folks. Take it easy. Have a great day wherever you are in the world.